Dana, main event, so a dominating wrestling win for Curtis Blaydes, but maybe not the most exciting main event of all time. I just want to get your thoughts on kind of his performance tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he won. He talked a lot of shit coming in this week. I don't think you talk the shit that he talked this week and come in and perform like that, talking about ragdolling people and he's not getting paid and yada, yada. He should be getting a title shot. And, he gassed out at the end of the third round, made it to the fifth and won the fight. Yeah, he won.
You said it, I mean, he's talking about title shots. Obviously, you have a heavyweight title shot, and of course, Francis Ngannou is next. But he said, Curtis said coming in, once I win, I think I'll hang out and wait around. I should probably be right behind Francis. I mean, is that the type of win that you could give a guy a title shot?
Well, first of all, his two losses are to Francis. How do you give him the title fight over Francis? But yeah, he would be considered next in line. With his performance tonight and his cardio, I wouldn't wait around if I was him. I'd stay active. I'd stay busy. I like Curtis Blaydes, but Curtis Blaydes has the wrong attitude as far as I'm concerned. I don't have anything against the kid at all. He just, when you talk shit like he talked this week, man, you better come in and whoop somebody's ass when you talk shit like that. When you talk the shit that he talked and perform like you performed tonight, you look stupid.
The opposite end of the spectrum, Josh Emmett, that fight obviously was incredible. As you said, clear fight of the night. What did you think about his performance tonight?
Incredible. He looked good. Considering his knee in the first round, he kept throwing bombs. He took some nasty leg kicks and kept throwing bombs. He hit Burgos. Burgos went down. Burgos got back up. Both guys had unbelievable chins. It was a very fun fight. The thing that I feel sorry for these two guys are that fight was incredible, and it's obviously a candidate for fight of the year. But the problem is this year is Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Weili Zhang happened, And if you look at what was on the line, it was 5 rounds, and it was just fucking badass. It just sucks for those two because that fight was incredible.
And Emmett saying, he wants respect now. He's like, I need to fight up some guys to the top. What do you plan on doing with him?
Dude, I talked to these guys on Friday, and he did exactly what I was talking about, There's never been more spotlight and shine on this sport than there is right now. Every day on ESPN, whether it's on the lower bottom graphic or, they're talking about it, or that's on the scroll on the bottom, it's UFC every day. And, it's what the media is talking about right now because there's nothing else going on. So they've never had a bigger opportunity with more people watching them. People were talking all this shit about Cavillo versus It did 1.4 million fucking views, So the sport's kicking ass right now, and I shouldn't say that. The UFC's kicking ass right now, and these kids are getting a lot of attention. So you have to go out and perform, and they did.
Kind of a weird moment in the first fight of the night. I wanted to get your take on this. Max Roshkov was saying, telling his corner, hey, call it, I'm done. His corner didn't. He ultimately kind of had to call it himself. Bob Bennett has said that he'll look into it. Did you see that whole scenario unfold? Did you have any thoughts on what happened there?
So apparently his manager has been terrorizing Sean Shelby that this guy is the guy. This guy's the future of the sport. And finally, Sean said, okay, I'll bring him in. I got a last-minute replacement, and brought him in. And that was his performance tonight.
I don't know. Last thing I wanted to ask of you, the shorts tonight, we saw the logos, the rainbow logo on there. How did that all come about? We didn't know that was something that was being done. It was kind of a surprise. How did that come about?
Well, they asked if they could, and I said yes.
No big initiative then?
No, they asked, and I said yes.
Hey, Dana.
Dana, I'm sorry. Could I just ask you about that, though? So you say, forgetting about his performance, the fact if he felt he didn't have a chance to win, do you feel like it's okay for a fighter to essentially tap out in between rounds?
100%. Listen, man, let me tell you what. In this fucking sport, if you're done, you're done. You should absolutely be able to quit. I know that it's frowned upon, but guess what? Anybody that would talk shit about you quitting isn't in there fighting. It's real easy to be a critic. What these kids do is a whole nother level, man. I don't, as the guy who runs this organization, as the guy who is involved in the matchmaking and everything else, you know, you see these kids. We deal with managers from all over the world. They're like, oh, this guy's the guy, this guy's the guy. And you get this, when you get here, this is a whole different level, man. And that guy's not ready, and he might not ever be ready. And some of us, and I've told you guys this many times before. I believed one day, that, you know, back in the day that I was a fighter and I wanted to do this and that, and one day I found out that I wasn't. The realization was that I wasn't. And when you find out, you need to walk away, and you need to. I'm not saying that's the case with this kid, but if that kid felt like he needed to quit tonight, who the fuck is anybody to judge him on that? He had the balls to come here and fight and take a short notice fight in the UFC.
Do you feel like when you look at him, so, you know, obviously a lot of people think it looks bad. Do you see that as a guy that could turn it around? I mean, or do you think that's such a mental blow to somebody that it's hard to come back and win a fight after having done that on national television?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but he, you know, he's got to get up tomorrow morning and look at himself in the mirror and figure out who he is and what he wants to do. There is no shame in getting here and finding out that you're not it. There's no shame in that at all. You gave it a shot, didn't work out. You know what I mean? Anybody who would try to ridicule a kid like that, fuck you. Come try it. Come try and do what he did tonight. Very few people can do it.
Dan, I was just wondering, is there an update on Jacare and if he's feeling any better from COVID?
I don't have an update.
Okay, certainly. Are there plans to unveil the next EA UFC game in Abu Dhabi next month?
Are we?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking me? Boss, are we doing it? Yeah, yeah. The boss says yes.
And there's reports that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are going to be in the game.
What? Where are you hearing this shit?
There's a reporter named Brian Mazicki. He's a gaming journalist.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Might be.
Okay. Might be.
Why aren't we doing this in Abu Dhabi? Why are you asking me these questions now?
Being annoying, I guess.
Yeah, because I might tell you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Dana, over here. Dana, to your left. How's it going?
Hey, good.
How impressed were you with Justin James tonight?
Yeah, listen, I was just, let me take this opportunity to rip Bob Arum again. So these guys have been pulling shitty numbers, putting on, I guess Kevin said they had a good fight the other night. I didn't see it, but, you know, they're still battling with cornhole right now. And but these kids out the gate since day one have been putting on incredible fights. And if you look at what's going on in sports right now, you know, some of these guys are just getting back and starting to train, and nobody's playing yet. And the level that these kids are performing at, all of them, not just him, but yes, obviously him too. It's been incredible to watch. I've never been more proud to be a part of this sport than I am right now.
Absolutely. This might be more of a question for Sean, but when you call a fighter for a last-minute opportunity to be in the UFC, I'm curious, what percentage say I'll take that, and what percentage of the time does Sean have to go looking for the next guy and the next guy?
There's tons of kids who take the opportunity, yeah. So a lot of these kids stay in shape. You know, they might not necessarily have been training for a 3-round fight. You know, when I say that, I mean a proper camp that you would do, but they're in shape and they're ready to go. So, and a lot of these kids take the opportunity.
Gotcha. Catch weights. This is something that we've seen you do only during the pandemic.
Because I don't like them.
And when there's no pandemic anymore, we're not going to see.
No, I hate catch weight fights. Okay. They mean nothing.
Yeah. Last question. Who impressed you the most overall tonight?
Tonight, you got to go with the co-main event. Both of those guys impressed me. Both showed. Absolutely, you know, it was one of the fights that I picked this week for people to watch, and they lived up to the hype of the fight. And both guys showed toughness, grit, determination. Both guys showed the will to win. You could tell when Burgos lost, he was so upset because he felt like he was in it and he had a chance to win that fight. And like Emmett said, you know, tonight was his coming out party. He's been working hard. You know, he went through that shit when he first came into the UFC. He got injured, you know, and sat out for a while. And tonight was his night, man. Tonight was his night to shine. And he earned it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dana, good to see you.
You too, buddy.
Not sure if you saw, but Henry Cejudo's been very active on Twitter tonight. And during the Emmett Burgos fight, he even mentioned that these artists are doing beautiful work in his weight division. Just curious on your thoughts if Henry Cejudo wanted to return and fight for the featherweight strap.
He's retired.
But as somebody
I just
pulls
did
out-
another interview where people are asking me about other retired guys. These guys are retired. I'm not even thinking about any of those guys. They're retired. You know, there's so many kids right now that are here that want to fight. Those are the people that I'm focused on.
Josh Emmett, a few moments ago, he was up there on the podium. He mentioned that he'd be interested in a top 3 opponent. Curious on what you think his fighting future is and what a good bout would be for him, opponent-wise, for his next time out in the octagon.
Well, yeah, you know, it's going to depend on a lot of things. Who's available, timing of when he fights again, how's his knee? I mean, there's just so many things. There's so many different factors in when he fights next and who he fights next that we're going to have to see how this thing plays out over the next couple weeks. I'm hoping. I don't even want to say it because I don't even want to jinx the kid, but I'm hoping his knee is okay.
And lastly, you announced all the fight cards in July for Fight Island. When do you anticipate announcing more of the schedule in August for the fight cards here at the Apex?
Probably. I don't know. Probably when we get to Fight Island, we'll start announcing more cards. We got the summer done. Summer looks good, man. I'm telling you, we're gonna have some fun in August. August is a crazy month with some really good fights.
Last thing, Dana, to me, I didn't see one judge's decision that I felt was wrong tonight, which is a really good thing. I'm not going to say it's rare because there's not always bad decisions, but are you with
It's
me?
very rare.
Okay.
It's very. I mean, usually we'll be somewhere and the night will start and they'll be like, "What the? How the hell did he see that fight like that?" Yeah, no. Tonight was a good night.
Yeah, I was happy to see that. Good judging, Las Vegas.
Yeah,
coming up.
it's a big deal. It's a big deal when they get it right.
Julian Robertson, last second submission. That had to impress you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And then 125 for Valentina. She may be possibly in talks sometime soon, maybe.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Right.
Dana,
Yeah.
just real quick, speaking of Bob Arum, talking to him today, he mentioned that potentially they may have fans at a show at the MGM in September.
People aren't even watching it on TV. Fucking fans are going to show up now?
So the question is, would you have any fans? Have you had talks for that? Is there a possibility, say for Stipe in D.C., that you might have fans at that event? When would the earliest be?
So this asshole is saying that he's going to have fans at his fights when a few weeks ago he was talking shit about me for even going. Then I go, now he's going right after I'm going, but he's going to have fans all of a sudden too? He's an asshole. Come on, Kev. You know he's an asshole.
Dana,
He's going to have fans there. He's got 300,000 people watching his show. What are 14 people going to show up live?
So no chance of you having fans?
I'm not even thinking about that right now. I got my shit dialed in. I got my shit worked out, you know? I'm hearing that they're shutting down casinos in Arizona. They're shutting down casinos in Arizona. The governor just came out and said everybody's going to have to start wearing masks here like California and all this other stuff. But Bob Arum's going to have fans. He's pulling 300,000 viewers. He's going to sell fucking tickets. Give me a fucking break.
Dana, any word on Anthony Rumble Johnson coming back? I'd be really...
You know what? There was talk about it for a minute, and then it's all stopped, and he sort of disappeared again.
That's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, listen, it is good because if you don't want to fight, and if you walked away the first time, and you're coming back for what? What are you coming back for? If it's just a payday,
Yeah.
he's a smart kid. He can go do a lot of other things, man. This is a young man's game. These guys, these up and coming kids are savages. Look at this Emmett Burgos fight.
Yep.
Both of those guys looking for the credit and the respect they feel they deserve. Those are the type of dudes you're going to fight.
Yep.
This is a young man's game. And there's nothing wrong with being retired from this. But I always say this to these kids. This isn't a job. This isn't a job. This is an opportunity. You know, and you have a very short window of time to do this, like any other professional sport.
Yep.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a person who's ready to retire and retiring.
Absolutely. Wanted to give you credit also for sticking up for Max Roshkop. A lot of people who haven't trained, I've trained most of my life in various martial arts, don't understand that if you're getting beaten down, your cardio's gone, you're hurt, and you're not going to be able to bring anything else, looking forward to continuous beatdown is not a fair thing, and it's not a fair thing to call someone like that a coward. Well,
it's actually, the beautiful thing about this sport is you can actually tap out with honor. You know, when you think about No Mas, he was ridiculed for years because of that.
Yeah.
He's one of the baddest dudes to ever walk the face of the planet.
Absolutely, Roberto.
You know what I mean? And yeah, no shame in that kid quitting on the stool.
Yeah.
If you feel you can't go back in there and perform, do not do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were kind of referencing having August set. Is Stipe DC? Do you think it'll be here at the Apex, or do you know where it'll be?
Yeah, that would be here.
Okay, that's official then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you were just talking about the fans with Top Rank. You had said last week, as soon as you can have fans, you would go do that. I know the president tried to have a rally tonight, and they had attendance issues there. I think a lot of people want to stay away because of the virus. So, I mean, would you immediately go, or do you have to kind of feel out where the fans are in terms of being ready to go to them?
No. So when we think, first of all, whatever, this would be a state or a country or whatever it would be that would decide that they were ready for fans. We would get together with the government there and, whatever entities we had to deal with, whether it was the athletic commission or whoever, and we would figure out how we were going to do this, how it was all going to work, how would it be safe, and then we do it. We would be first. If we're able to do it, we'd be first and do it. I just don't see that happening anytime soon in the United States. I could see it happening in another country, not here though. I mean, and again, you can't fucking believe anything you read. You don't know what's true and what's not true. You're hearing, flatten the curve, and the curve had flattened. Now they're saying things are spiking up in Texas and Arizona and Florida and all these other places. I don't know. I don't know the answers to this stuff. That's why I stay in my lane now. We got the Apex. We got Fight Island. We're kicking off here soon. And I am not even thinking about doing an event with fans, And if I had 300,000 people watching my fucking show, that'd be the last thing I'd be worried about is fans coming back.
Last good one, Dana. With the weight classes approved a couple years ago, 170 being removed and bringing in 65, 75, 95, and 225, any thought about adding any of those weight classes? And if so, which one might be given the most serious?
What was the beginning of that question?
The beginning of that question was a couple of years ago, most athletic commissions approved MMA adding 4 weight classes, removing 170 and putting in 65, 75, 95, and 225.
No.
No thought about any of them? And if you were going to put in one, any favorite of those 4?
No.
It's a no?
No interest whatsoever.
Understood.
Thank you. You guys done with me? Have a great weekend.